Well, you've seen me create custom G.I. Joe sets, so why don't we start a custom toy soldier playset. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Paul Knapp coming to you once again from the man cave, and I've decided to create my own Civil War toy soldier playset based on Gettysburg, specifically day 3 of Gettysburg at Pickett's charge. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm starting to receive boxes to add to this toy playset. So I'm going to go ahead and do a box opening along with how we're creating this playset. I've been ordering items from Sean's Closet, Mr. and Mrs. Cook, for several years now, and they always have great items, and they always carry plastic toy soldiers in 1/32 scale, which is what I ordered from them. This order, I ordered rock walls to go with the Pickett's charge, and these are specifically the butternut and blue company, as well as the split rail fence, which is also butternut and blue is the company on those. And check out his website or his Facebook page called Sean's Closet. Mr. Cook, Mr. and Mrs. Cook, they've been great to me over the years. So that is the first item to be added to the Pickett's charge. Here's another box that just came in that I'm adding to the playset. Let me open that up and give you a point of contact if you're interested in these. Now, I've been ordering these flags from this individual on eBay for quite some time now. You can order any flag from any war pretty much, and any division, whatever you're looking for. I asked for 5 flags that were used at Gettysburg in Pickett's charge. You're looking at the 28th Virginia battle flag, Confederate battle flag, I believe the 13th Alabama flag. This is the 16th New York and the 34-star US flag. So, but yes, these are awesome. This is not wood, this is metal. These are paper, but the individual curls them to make them look like they're fluttering. They also give you instructions on how to do that yourself if you want to change it. But again, awesome and to scale. Now, as you can see here, these are the original ones that I bought with the butternut and blue set, gosh, probably 15 years ago now. And it came with a split rail fence. So these are the additional ones that I'm adding to it. And I'm going to go ahead and paint these for this playset that I'm making. We're going to do some highlights on the rock wall, make it look more like Gettysburg. And same with the split rail fence. I'm going to paint that up in a brown gray color. And then we're also going to make a playset board that will fit inside one of the boxes once the original box gets here for this playset. So we are in the man cave storage area for my vintage and new playsets, all 1/32 scale. I have many vintage ones, but I have many more of the nostalgia toy boxes. So these is the one size, the larger size that I'm having made for the Gettysburg set that I'm working on right now. So I'm going to measure one of these boxes. This way I can start making the playset board that's going to go inside it. So the size of the playset box is 28 by 16. So I'm cutting this MDF board 28 by 16. I will then glue the foam on top of this. That'll give me a 28 by 16 battle board to set the figures up on. I'd like to go bigger, but I also want to keep the battle board inside the box, so the max I can go is 28 by 16 for the larger box. Okay, so my MDF board is cut to size for the bottom of the box. I'm now going to take the foam from Home Depot, cut it to size, and then I use liquid nails to attach the foam to the MDF board. I'll let that set 24 hours, make sure it's nice and solid before we start carving. So I wanted you to just see this before I glued it down. This is again the MDF board on the bottom. I will glue the first layer of foam to that. this second piece, kind of a hillside. I'm going to glue that to this, and that'll give it somewhat of a layer going up, kind of a undulating hills. My thought process here was this is going to be the rock wall somewhere in here for the third day of Gettysburg. The cannons will sit up higher than the soldiers. Then down here, of course, is not to scale, but I'm going to have the edge of the road, Emmitsburg Road here, with the fence, and then yeah, the south coming from this direction, the north are going to be up here on the hillside, and that is it. So next is to glue it all down, and I also think I'm going to start cutting down the area here for the roadbed. Okay, so it's the next day and the battle board is dry. You can see painted somewhat of a dark brown for the roadbed. The green is for the under grass area. I even painted the sides black so it'll kind of blend it a little bit and you won't notice the edges as much if I left it pink. So now becomes the fun part, the planning of the gravel roadbed. Probably gonna put some rocks in here, maybe on the embankment a little bit, and then grass on top. Keeping in mind this was a cemetery hill where the original cemetery was for Gettysburg, the residence. So I don't think there's gonna be much rock other than the rock wall that I'm gonna put in there. I'm gonna work on painting that as well today. So let's get started on the fun stuff. So you can see here, all I've done was taking regular old Elmer's glue with a paintbrush, spread it all over both areas, and then I add the gravel color, the rock bits, whatever you want to call it, ballast, to the road area. And now I'm going to be adding a light, let's see, blended turf green to this area here. The more I looked at the pictures of the original Gettysburg hillside where this occurred, there really wasn't all that much rocky area like in Devil's Den. So I'm just going to leave it kind of a area like this, just green grass, and then I'm going to work on the stone wall and add that in there. These are the rock wall sections from Butternut and Blue. Of course, I don't want to leave them this color. We're going to hit them with some primer outside and then start detailing these, which will be next for the playset. Okay, so you can see here I used a blend of turf and grasses of different colors along with some weeds, which are the darker, more clump foliage. So hopefully once this dries, and you can see, you really want to wet it down enough that the yellow or the white from the Elmer's glue is actually showing through. This way you know you're getting all the way through, and that's going to dissipate. You're not going to see that at all. So when people do this for the first time, they freak out and they think it's going to be white, but that when that dries, you'll only see the turf in there. And then what we'll do tomorrow, after this is totally dry, we'll come back and hit it with some Mod Podge, real light, watered down, which I spray on top, and that just keeps everything in place. And then we can start working on our fence line and our wall. And then I left some darker areas up here where I thought probably 2 cannons would sit, and they might tear up the grass a little bit more. So I made those areas a little bit more darker brown. But yeah, I think tomorrow it'll look a lot better than today. Okay, so it's a few days later, and as you can see, the static grass has been applied. I put some extra tufts of grass in here. I worked on some IMAX cannons. They're going to be on top of the hill. I also made a deciduous tree here, just to give it a little height. And you can see the glue is still drying on some of these. So my next part of the project was to, after I finished the rock walls, was work on this post fence, also from Butternut and Blue. And I'm having trouble having it stand and still put the the rails in. So what I've decided to do here is I'm taking my drill and I'm putting a little hole in the bottom of this. I'm going to super glue that in, and then I'll be able to push that through the foam here once it's dry, and then the fence post won't fall down. I'm probably going to glue the rails in place. I'm also going to paint it because it's not, you know, primer gray like that. I'm going to paint it brown color, brown gray, make it look weathered. And so that's where I am right now, waiting for the glue to dry. I also put in some cannonball hits. As you can see, some cannonball strikes. I probably went a little heavy on some of this tuft of grass. I don't like the lighter green as much, but it's okay for my first trowel of one of these battle boards. And let's finish the fence. And here it is, just arrived from Little Toy Maker on eBay. This is the playset box for the playset I'm working on. Day 3 of Gettysburg. This is the larger size, so you do pay a little bit more, about $20 more for the larger size playset box. And this comes again from Little Toy Maker. His name is Gene. I have had him make several for me in the past, so I'm looking forward to opening up this new playset box. And here it is, fresh out of the box. I'm loving this Pickett's Charge playset. And I love the picture that he chose for the front. I gave him some ideas, but he found this one on the internet. And I told him I just wanted to keep it very basic, what was inside there. I didn't want any names like Marks or TSSD. And you can see here on the front side. And then he does 4 sides of it. So the front, the top, and the 2 sides. Oh, he actually did the back, so I guess did put a big one on the back, but it's the same as the front. So all the sides, nothing on the bottom. But yeah, this is the larger box. Again, you pay about $20 more for this, and you can find him under Little Toy Maker on eBay. Now here is the true test to see how well I did. Will the battle board that I made fit inside the box that I purchased? And it's a snug fit, but looking pretty good. I saved a little room on the sides, you can see, just so the cardboard flaps can fit inside there. And looks good. Now all I'm doing is waiting for the rest of the playset soldiers to come in from Speria. Okay, so I've made a little change to this. I've decided to go twice as large. In other words, I made a second battle board, which will butt up to the front of this one instead of to the side. And we're gonna increase the size of the road to here, put another picket fence on this side, and this will be the Confederate side coming in from Seminary Hill, the Emmitsburg Road, the fence, the wall, and the hillside on Cemetery Hill. So, but when I store it in the box, I should be able to just stack these two because I'm not adding any height to that second one, and they'll still fit in the box. Okay, so you can see here I didn't have to shave much down really to get these two boards close to each other. They're not gonna be perfect, but hopefully the dirt and sand that I put in there will cover up a little bit of that gap. Again, I just used the burner and gave it that little bit of a bevel, looking like a roadbed, a little bit of a slope upward, and this was only the 1/4 inch thick versus the 1 inch thick over here, so it's still kind of a downward slope, and that's what we're gonna go with. Okay, it's the next day. Everything is dry on this board. You can see the flocking turned out pretty nice. I'm gonna add a little more color to that so it doesn't look like just all green. I'm gonna kind of blend it a little bit more. You can see the roadbed, I kind of made it to match, so when you push this together, and all we gotta do is dirty this side up like this side, and all I'm using is powders for that. And then once we put the fences on, I think we're gonna have a nice little battlefield. So here we are, the final flocking, I put another layer of high grass towards the back, like they're coming out of the field towards the fence line here on Emmitsburg Road. You can see the road. It looks pretty good, even though that line is in there. It's not that bad. It's not hard as if it was on the grass line, so I like it better there. Painted the fences, put a little weathering on them as well. I know it's hard to see with the camera. And the only problem I'm having, the only issue is with this side, I put a base of grass on first before I put the static grass on, as you can see. And this is not coming off at all, which is really nice. With this side, I just painted the foam and went with the static grass. And if you put your hand across it too many times, it will come off. As you can see here, the shiny green. And that's why you paint the foam, just in case some of that comes off. It didn't do it as much here, but you'll notice it where you see the shiny coming through. So my only regret, I think, on this side was not either using a darker paint, so you didn't see that, or maybe I'm not putting a base on there first before I put the flocking on. So, but still, all in all, I think it looks much better being twice as large. Before, again, we were going with just this. Now we have area for the Southern troops to be coming across the field, coming out of the tall grass up to the fence line. We'll be able to fit a lot more figures on there, and hopefully this will be displayed in Gettysburg in about 2 to 3 weeks. And here it is, folks, the final box that I've been waiting for. The final figures, all 1/32 scale for the Gettysburg Day 3 Pickett's Charge playset that I'm building. I'm going to open up this box, lay them out for you, and show you what I ordered. Okay, so here are the figures unboxed, and I think I bought 25 figures. They're so cool, man. These are poses that I wish Marks would have done back in the day. How cool would they have been? Not sure how well these are focusing in, but I'm gonna go over each figure and give you the name of it in case you're interested in buying from Spiria Miniatures. Again, these come from Sweden, but I will tell you, after they were done printed, they sent me an email and said they were in the mail. They took about a week and a half to get here. Very quick. I thought so. But yeah, these are awesome. Let me go over each pose for you. This first figure is called Soldier Screaming, No Hat, Large Beard. This is wounded on the ground with beard. This is wounded on battlefield, bearded man. This next one, I believe, is Soldier Hit, Large Hat, or Large Beard. It's hard to see that under there, but next one is obviously Man on Stretcher. I believe this is the one that I ordered that says Soldier Crouching Down. This next one is Rallying Comrades. This is Soldier Falling. This is Soldier Crawling. I believe this one is called Soldier Hit, Barehead. Next one is Soldier Killed, Barehead. This is Soldier Assisting Wounded. This one, I believe, is Soldier Hit, Falling, Hat and Short Jacket. I don't know how well you can see this, if it's focusing, but this is Soldier Wounded with Limb Off. He's actually holding his arm that was shot off. These next two poses are Union Officer Beating Confederate Soldier with Revolver. This is Confederate Flag Bearer in Hat and Rolled Flag. This next figure, which is lying down here, is actually the Confederate Flag Bearer in kepi on cannon. So you're supposed to have him on top of a cannon. However, I have plans for him. This next one is Union Soldier Swings Musket. This guy is Confederate surrendering. This is also Confederate surrendering with hands in air. And these ones lying down are 3 different poses of figures climbing a fence. So I'm going to have them on my diorama climbing a fence, these 3 figures here. This is Pile of Dead Bodies. And this last one here is called the Confederate Soldier Rifle Buddy. So there's your 25 figures. Again, they count this as one set. So you're actually getting more than 25 figures. A couple of these are doubles. I'm going to be adding them to these figures here. The other 1/32 scale ones that I bought from Speria. These ones are actually horsemen miniatures, warhorse miniatures. So between the new ones and the ones I have, that's about 48 figures, which will make a nice little diorama. I'm going to take half of these or so and paint them in the gray, so it's going to look more like this. When these figures come to you, they're in this color. It's kind of a baby blue, I guess. So I leave those for my Union, and then I just paint the Southern troops in this primer gray, I guess you could say. So I'm going to paint these up, separate the figures, put them on the diorama, and show you what it looks like complete. Okay, folks, so here it is, the final product. The battle boards, both of them complete, along with, we have some explosions in there that are foam. We have several different Confederate as well as Union soldiers from several different companies. There's, of course, the Speria ones. Now, I did go back and paint the Northern figures this light blue color. I got the idea from Joe Baker, who does some awesome toy soldier photography. Check him out. But so yeah, this job is complete. It will be on display next weekend, the 25th of August, in Gettysburg at the Gettysburg Toy Soldier Show. So if you're going to that show, hope you guys enjoy it. I'll take some close-up photos and put it at the end of this video, but all in all, I think it turned out pretty good for never doing anything like this before. Hope you guys enjoyed this build, and as always, keep on collecting.